What I discovered on my 15th wedding anniversary destroyed everything I believed about my life. For 15 years, I built my life around my wife Chioma and our 3 children. I dropped out of university when she got pregnant in her 3rd year, so I couldn't finish my degree. I started as mechanic apprentice, then later driver, and then saved money to begin my oil servicing contracts. I sacrificed everything, my education, my own dream, even my family, as they were never in support of me marrying Chioma, to provide for my family. On our 15th wedding anniversary, I planned surprise dinner at expensive restaurant on Olu Obasanjo Road. I arrived early to arrange everything. I saw Chioma entering same restaurant with my business partner, Obiora. They kissed. They sat in corner booth I had reserved under different name. They discussed how much longer they needed to hide the affair. They laughed about my ignorance. My name is Emeka Okafor. I am 40 years old from Imo State. What I am about to tell you is the story of how I lost 15 years of my life to a lie. This is the story of how I discovered that the woman I sacrificed everything for never loved me, and how 2 of my 3 children were not even mine. If you are married, if you are in a relationship, if you trust someone completely, please listen to my story, because sometimes the people closest to us are the ones betraying us. I met Chioma Nwosu in my 2nd year at University of Port Harcourt. I was studying mechanical engineering. She was studying business administration. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. Tall, dark skin, sharp features, confident walk. Every man on campus wanted her, but she chose me. We dated for 1 year. I loved her completely. I took her to my village to meet Papa Peter, my late father's best friend who raised me after my parents died in car accident. Papa Peter warned me. He said, "Emeka, that girl comes from wealthy family. She's used to money. You're a poor student. Are you sure she loves you for who you are?" I told him love was enough. I was foolish. In our 3rd year, Chioma got pregnant. Her family was furious. Her father, Chief Nwosu, threatened to report me to police unless I married her immediately. I was 22 years old. I had no money. I had no degree, but I loved her and I wanted to do the right thing. I dropped out of university. We did traditional wedding in her village in Anambra State, then white wedding in Port Harcourt. Her family provided everything because I had nothing. I was ashamed, but I promised myself I would work hard and give her the life she deserved. After we married, I worked as mechanic apprentice in Transamati. I woke up at 5 a.m. every day. I worked until 8 p.m. My hands were always covered in grease. My body ached every night, but I was building something. Chidera was born months after our wedding. She was beautiful with my eyes and Chioma's smile. I held her in a hospital and promised her I would give her everything I never had. After 2 years as apprentice, I became company driver for oil servicing company. After another year, I saved enough money to buy used Toyota Hiace. I started transporting equipment to oil fields. I made contacts. I learned the business. When Chidera was 5 years old, I registered my own company, Okafor Oil Services Limited. I had 1 vehicle, 2 employees, and big dreams. Chioma was pregnant with our 2nd child, Chikwudi. The business grew slowly. I worked contracts in Port Harcourt, Warri, Bonny Island, even Lagos. I was away from home many days. Chioma complained, but I told her I was building our future. Chikwudi was born when I was 29. He was strong baby, healthy, always smiling. 3 years later, Kayamika was born. Our family was complete. Me, Chioma, and our 3 beautiful children. By the time I was 35, my company had 50 employees and contracts worth hundreds of millions of naira. We moved from our small flat in Rumu Okoro to big house in Transamati. I bought Chioma Range Rover. I enrolled children in expensive private school. I gave her everything she asked for. but I was too busy to notice she was unhappy. 8 years ago, I met Obiora at industry conference in Lagos. He was from Delta State, smooth talker, well-connected. He proposed partnership. He would bring contacts with government officials. I would provide operational expertise. We would split profits 50-50. I trusted him. He came to my house for family dinners. My children called him Uncle Obiora. Chioma cooked his favorite soups. We attended church together. He was my best friend. What I did not know was that he was sleeping with my wife. November 15th, 2023 was our 15th wedding anniversary. I wanted to do something special for Chioma. Despite our success, we had grown distant. She spent more time with her friend Gozi, shopping on ABA Road, attending parties in GRA. She complained I was boring, too focused on work, not sophisticated enough. I thought surprise anniversary dinner would fix things. I told Chioma I had emergency contract meeting in Bonny Island and would return the next day. But instead, I made reservation at Golden Tulip Restaurant on Olu Obasanjo Road under my secretary's name. I bought Chioma's favorite perfume from ShopRite. I ordered her favorite champagne. I arranged roses on the table. I arrived 1 hour early and waited. At 7 p.m., Chioma walked into the restaurant. But she was not alone. She was with Obiora. They walked to the reservation desk. The hostess showed them to the corner booth, my booth with my flowers, my champagne. They sat down holding hands. I watched from behind pillar, my phone recording everything. Obiora kissed Chioma's fingers across the table. She smiled at him the way she used to smile at me 15 years ago when we were young and in love. They ordered wine. They laughed. They spoke quietly, but I could hear enough. Obiora complained about his wife in Abuja, who refused to divorce him. Chioma said she was tired of pretending with me. She called me boring. She said I was too traditional, too focused on work. She wanted excitement. She wanted sophisticated man like Obiora. I stood behind that pillar for 30 minutes, watching my wife celebrate our anniversary with my best friend in the restaurant I had reserved with the flowers I had bought. I left without confronting them. I got in my car and drove around Port Harcourt for 2 hours. I did not know where to go. I could not go home. I could not face her. Finally, I drove to Muokoro to find Irika. Irika is my childhood friend. She is lawyer now, tough woman who does not take nonsense from anyone. When she opened her door at 11 p.m. to find me standing there, unable to speak, she called her sister Adana. Adana was visiting from UK. She was my first love before university, before Chioma, before everything went wrong. We dated when we were teenagers in the village. Her parents sent her to study in London, and we lost contact. She married British Nigerian man. They divorced 3 years ago, and she recently returned to Nigeria. They made me sit. They gave me water. I sat there moping like a frog. I couldn't speak. They got worried and kept asking me what the problem is. If someone is after me. But I couldn't talk. I showed them the video. They were all shocked. Irika watched it twice, her face hard. They consoled me and asked what I wanted to do. I don't know. That was the only thing I could say. She said, Emeka, you need evidence. Video alone is not enough. You need to document everything before you confront her. She recommended private investigator named Mr. Okonkwo. Over the next 3 weeks, Mr. Okonkwo followed Chioma and Obiora everywhere. He documented 23 meetings at hotels in GRA, Ryokuro, even Owerri. He obtained hotel records showing they registered as Mr. and Mrs. Nady. He intercepted their WhatsApp messages through contacts at telecommunications company. The messages broke me. They were not just having an affair. They were in love. They planned future together. They discussed how to leave their spouses. They laughed about my ignorance. Obiora wrote, Emeka is too blind to see what is happening right in front of him. But the worst discovery was still coming. One night, I was reading through WhatsApp messages Mr. Okonkwo had recovered. There was conversation between Chioma and her friend Ngozi from 1 year ago. Ngozi asked, "Are you not afraid Emeka will discover the truth?" Chioma replied, "He is too trusting, too blind. He will never know." Then Ngozi wrote, "But what about Chukwudi and Kayamika? You said Obiora was their father. Are you not afraid?" I read that message 10 times before it made sense. Chioma's response made my blood run cold. Emeka will never know. Both children look like my family. He never questions anything. Besides, Chidera is definitely his, so he has one real child. I sat in my car outside my office, staring at those words on my phone screen. Chukwudi and Kayamika were not my children. The son I taught to ride bicycle, the daughter whose hair I plaited every Saturday morning. They were not mine. I drove to Lagos the next morning. I went to a private DNA testing laboratory. I provided blood samples and hair from all 3 children that I collected from their combs at home. I paid extra for rush results. 7 days later, the results arrived by email. Child 1, Chidera Okafor. 99.9% probability of paternity. Child 2, Chukwudi Okafor. 0% probability of paternity. Child 3, Kayamika Okafor. 0% probability of paternity. I had raised 2 children who were not mine. I had paid their school fees, bought their clothes, celebrated their birthdays, taught them right from wrong. I was their father in every way that mattered, except biology. I was busy being a good husband and father. Meanwhile, Chioma was busy living her dream life. And Chioma knew. She had lied to me for 11 years. I checked in a hotel in GRA Phase 2. I told my secretary I was sick. I turned off my phone. I locked myself in that room for 3 days. I did not eat. I did not sleep properly. I sat on the bed staring at DNA test results, at WhatsApp messages, at hotel receipts. I tried to understand how my life turned out this way, how my life had become this lie. On the 3rd day, Adana found me. Irika had given her the hotel address after I stopped answering calls. She knocked on my door for 20 minutes before I opened it. She did not say anything. She just came in and sat beside me. And for the first time since my parents died 18 years ago, I cried. I cried for the 15 years I wasted. I cried for the children who would learn their father was not their father. I cried for the man I used to be, the man who believed in love and loyalty and family. Adana held me while I cried. She did not judge me. She did not tell me to be strong. She just sat there. When I finally stopped crying, she said, "Emeka, you did nothing wrong. You love completely. You gave everything. The betrayal is not your failure. It is hers. Now you must decide. Will you let this destroy you, or will you rise above it?" Irika reparred everything. We filed for divorce at Lagos High Court, citing adultery with evidence attached, videos, photos, hotel records, WhatsApp messages, DNA tests. We filed criminal complaint against Obiora for embezzlement. My accountant had discovered he stole 42 million naira from our company through fake subcontractors and diverted contracts. We froze company accounts. We obtained court orders. We secured my assets. We prepared for war. On December 20th, 2023, exactly 5 weeks after discovering the affair, I called family meeting at our house in Transamati. I had already moved my important documents, clothes, and personal items to new apartment in GRA Phase 2. Chioma did not know. I placed divorce papers on the dining table. I placed printed WhatsApp messages beside them, hotel receipts, bank statements showing money transfers from Obiora to Chioma, and DNA test results for Chukwudi and Kayamika. Chioma walked into the dining room, expecting normal family discussion. When she saw the papers, her face changed. First shock, then fear, then anger. She grabbed the papers. She read them. She looked at me with wide eyes. Emika, what is this? What are you doing? I did not raise my voice. I said, I know everything, Chioma. I know about you and Obiora. I know it has been going on for years. I know Chikwudi and Kayamika are not my children. I know you have been lying to me since the day we married. She denied everything. She said I was crazy. She said someone was trying to destroy our marriage with fake evidence. She claimed DNA test was fabricated. Then I played the video from our anniversary night. I played on my laptop on the dining table. She watched herself with Obiora in that restaurant, holding hands, kissing, laughing about me. She stopped talking. She just stared at the screen. I gave you 15 years, Chioma. I dropped out of university for you. I worked day and night to give you everything you wanted. I loved you completely, and you betrayed me with my best friend. You gave me 2 children who are not mine and let me raise them as my own. She fell to her knees. She grabbed my legs. She cried and begged. She said the affair meant nothing, that she loved me. She said Obiora manipulated her. She said she made mistake. I removed her hands from my legs. 15 years of marriage is gone, Chioma. You destroyed it. Now you will face the consequences. I had called Obiora to come for urgent business meeting. He arrived at the house, not knowing what waited for him. When he walked in and saw Chioma crying, saw the papers on the table, his face went pale. Police officers were waiting outside. They arrested him immediately for embezzlement based on evidence my accountant provided. He tried to resist. He shouted that I was setting him up. But evidence does not lie. The worst moment of everything came when Chitara came downstairs. She was 14 years old, smart girl, observant. She heard shouting and crying. She saw police cars outside. She came down with Chikwudi and Kayamika behind her. They saw their mother on the floor, crying. They saw the police taking Obiora away in handcuffs. They saw papers scattered on the dining table. Chitara asked, Daddy, what is happening? I took her aside to the study. I closed the door. I told her the truth. Her mother had an affair with Uncle Obiora. I was divorcing her mother. The family was breaking apart. But I told Chitara that she was still my daughter, that I loved her, that nothing between us would change. I could not tell her about Chikwudi and Kayamika. Not yet. She was too young to handle that truth. The court would decide how and when younger children would learn. Chitara cried, but she was strong, like her grandmother. She hugged me and said, Daddy, I knew something was wrong. I saw Mummy with Uncle Obiora many times. I saw them holding hands in the car. I saw expensive gifts he gave her. I wanted to tell you, but I told her it was not her responsibility to protect me from adult problems. I told her I would always be her father, no matter what happened. The divorce took 4 months to finalize. Nigerian courts moved slowly, but Adiz pushed hard. The evidence was overwhelming. Chioma could not fight it. The court granted me custody of Chitara based on her age and preference. Chioma got custody of Chikwudi and Kayamika. Normally, I would be required to pay child support for all 3 children. But DNA test proved Chikwudi and Kayamika were not mine biologically, so the court only required minimal support. However, I decided to do something different. Despite betrayal, despite lies, despite everything, I had raised Chikwudi and Kayamika. I taught them to walk. I read them bedtime stories. I attended their school plays. I was their father in every way except blood. So I established education trust fund for them. I put 50 million naira in an account that would pay their school fees, university fees, and living expenses until they turned 25. The money was managed by independent trustee. They could not touch it. Chioma could not touch it. It was only for the children's education and welfare. People told me I was foolish. They said, Emika, why are you paying for another man's children? But I told them those children did not choose this situation. They were innocent. They still call me Daddy. Until they were old enough to understand the truth, I would not abandon them. Obiora was convicted of embezzlement. He was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at Port Harcourt Maximum Prison. His wife in Abuja divorced him immediately. His assets were seized to repay what he stole from my company. Chief Akoli, my rival who tried to buy my company at discount when he heard about my problems, failed completely. My new partner Tun Williams, a Yoruba businessman from Lagos, invested fresh capital in the company. We expanded operations to Abuja and Lagos. The business grew stronger than before. Chioma moved back to her family compound in Anambra State. Her father, Chief Nwosu, who once threatened me with police unless I married his daughter, was now ashamed of her. Her family rejected her because of the scandal. Ngozi, her friend who encouraged the affair and covered for her, lost everything too. The married politician she was dating abandoned her when the scandal became public. Her boutique on ABA Road closed due to debts. She left Port Harcourt in disgrace. During those dark months of investigation, divorce, and rebuilding, one person stood by me without agenda, Adana. She was my first love from our village in Imo State. We dated when we were 16 years old, before she went abroad for her university. I thought about her sometimes during my marriage, wondering what life would have been like with her if her parents had not sent her away. She had married British Nigerian man in London. The marriage failed after 7 years. No children. She returned to Nigeria 3 years ago, working as project manager for Shell in Port Harcourt. When Adiz reconnected us during my crisis, Adana did not pity me. She did not try to take advantage of my vulnerability. She just showed up. She listened. She offered practical help. She reminded me that I was more than my marriage, more than my pain. 6 months after my divorce finalized, I asked Adana to dinner. Just dinner as friends. We went to a small restaurant in GRA. Not expensive place, just quiet place where we could talk. We talked about everything. Our childhood in the village, our dreams when we were young, the paths our lives took, the mistakes we made, the lessons we learned. At the end of dinner, I said, Adana, I am not ready for a relationship now. I'm still healing. I'm still angry. I'm still broken. But I want you to know that you remind me what real love looks like. Patient, honest, unselfish. When I am ready, if you are willing, I would like to build something real with you. She smiled. She said, Emeka, I'm not going anywhere. Take your time. Heal properly. When you are ready, I will be here. We dated for 18 months before I proposed. We did traditional marriage in our village. Papa Peter, now 87 years old, attended. He held my hand and said, This is the woman I wanted you to marry 20 years ago. I am happy you found your way back to her. Chidera is now 16 years old. She lives with me and Adana. She calls Adana Auntie and respects her. She understands what her mother did, and while she still loves Chioma, she does not excuse the betrayal. Chikwudi is now 13 years old. Kayamika is 10 years old. They visit me every school holiday. They still call me Daddy. They still hug me when they see me. They still tell me they love me. I had not told them yet that I am not their biological father. The court agreed this information should wait until they are older, mature enough to process it without trauma. Perhaps when they are 18, I will tell them the truth. But truth or not, DNA or not, I raised them. I love them. In my heart, they will always be my children. Chioma occasionally sends messages asking for forgiveness. She says she has changed. She says she regrets everything. She says she wants family back together. I do not respond. There is nothing left to say. 15 years of marriage is gone, destroyed by her choices. I have moved on. I am now 42 years old. When I look back at the man I was at 22, rushing into marriage because of pregnancy, sacrificing my education, believing love was enough. I feel sad for him. He was naive. He was blind. He was foolish. But I also respect him. He tried. He worked hard. He kept his promises. He remained faithful despite temptations. The failure of his marriage was not his fault. Here is what I learned from 15 years of marriage built on lies. First lesson: love alone is not enough. You also need respect, honesty, shared values, and genuine partnership. If one person gives everything and the other takes everything, that is not marriage. Second lesson: trust your instincts. Papa Peter warned me about Chioma from the beginning. Deep inside, I knew something was wrong for years before I discovered the affair. But I ignored my instincts because I did not want to face the truth. Third lesson: never sacrifice yourself completely for anyone. I dropped out of university. I gave up my dreams. I worked myself to exhaustion. And for what? For a woman who never truly loved me. I should have finished my degree. I should have balanced family with personal growth. Fourth lesson: children are always victims in these situations. Chitara, Chakwudi, Kayamaka, they did not ask for any of this. They did not choose to have a mother who cheated or to be born into a web of lies. Protect children above everything else. Fifth lesson: financial success does not equal personal happiness. When I was poor, struggling, building my business, I was actually happier than when I became wealthy. Because when I was poor, I had purpose. When I became wealthy, I realized money cannot buy loyalty, love, or genuine relationship. If you're watching this video, if you are listening to my story, I want to tell you something important. If you are in a relationship or marriage where you feel unappreciated, where you give everything and receive nothing, where your partner only values what you provide and not who you are, leave. Do not wait 15 years like I did. Do not sacrifice your life for someone who does not truly love you. If you're a man raising children and you have any doubt about paternity, do DNA test. I know this sounds harsh. I know people will say it shows lack of trust. But I'm telling you from experience, it is better to know the truth early than to discover it after 11 years. Better to face difficult truth now than to live in comfortable lie that will eventually destroy you. If you're a woman married to a faithful man who works hard to provide for you, appreciate him. Do not take him for granted. Do not compare him to other men who seem more exciting, more sophisticated, more wealthy. The man who comes home to you every night, who works himself to exhaustion for your family, who remains faithful despite temptations, that man is rare. Value him before you lose him. If you're a young person about to get married, do not rush. I rushed because of pregnancy, because of family pressure, because I thought love was enough. Take your time. Know the person's character. See how they treat people who cannot benefit them. See how they handle money, stress, disappointment. Marriage is not just about love. It is about partnership, understanding that respect, and share values. If you have been betrayed like I was, know that you will survive this. The first months will be terrible. You will question everything about yourself. You will wonder if you are not good enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. But betrayal is not about your inadequacy. It is about the betrayer's character. You did nothing wrong by loving completely and trusting fully. The shame belongs to the person who broke that trust, not to you. And finally, do not let bitterness destroy you. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I felt betrayed. Yes, I wanted revenge. But bitterness is like poison you drink hoping the other person will die. It destroys you, not them. I chose to forgive, not for Chioma's sake, but for my own peace. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. It means releasing the anger so it does not consume you. Today, I am 42 years old. I am remarried to Adana, the woman I should have married 20 years ago. We live in Port Harcourt with Chitara. We are expecting our first child together, a son. My company, Okafor Oil Services Limited, now has offices in Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, and Warri. We employ over 200 people. Annual revenue is over 3 billion naira. My new partner Tun Williams is honest, transparent, and loyal. Everything Obiora was not. Chidera is excelling in school. She wants to study law like Ani Irika. She is strong, intelligent, and wise beyond her years. The divorce affected her, but did not break her. She understands that sometimes families must break apart so individual members can heal and grow. Chikwudi and Kayamika visit during school holidays. They are doing well academically. They are happy, healthy children. They still call me daddy. They still run to hug me when they arrive. The trust fund I established for them continues to grow. By the time they turn 25, there will be over 150 million naira available for their futures. Someday, when they are adults, I will tell them the truth about their paternity. I will show them the DNA tests. I will explain why their mother lied. I will tell them that biology does not determine love, that I chose to be their father even after learning the truth because I raised them and loved them. I hope they will understand. I hope they will not hate me for the decision I made. But even if they do, even if they choose Obiora as their father once they know I did the right thing. I protected them. I provided for them. I loved them when I could have abandoned them. Chioma is living in her family house in Anambra State. I heard she is working at her family's business now. She attends church regularly. People say she has changed, become humble, found God. I'm happy for her if that is true. I do not wish her harm. I simply wish her to be far away from me. Obiora is still in prison. He has 3 more years remaining on his sentence. His wife divorced him. His children refused to speak to him. He lost everything, his freedom, his family, his reputation, his money. Sometimes I feel sorry for him. Then I remember how he betrayed me, and the sympathy disappears. Papa Peter is now 87 years old. He is weak, his body failing, but his mind is still sharp. He visited me last month. He held my hand and said, "Emeka, I am proud of you. You suffered, but you did not become bitter. You were betrayed, but you did not lose your integrity. You are the man your father would have wanted you to be." Those words meant more to me than all the money I have made, all the success I have achieved. Because integrity is what remains when everything else is taken away. People often ask me, "Emeka, if you could go back 20 years, knowing everything you know now, would you still marry Chioma?" This is a difficult question, because if I say no, it means I regret Chidera's existence. And I do not regret her. She is one of the best things in my life. But if I say yes, it means I would willingly walk into 15 years of betrayal, lies, and pain again. So here's my answer. I would not marry Chioma. But I am grateful for Chidera. Life is complicated like that. Sometimes the worst decisions produce the best results, and sometimes you can regret the journey while loving the destination. If I could go back, I would finish my university degree. I would wait to marry. I would choose woman of character instead of woman of beauty. I would trust my instincts. I would build my life on foundation of wisdom instead of foundation of passion. But I cannot go back. None of us can. We can only move forward, carrying lessons from our past, trying not to repeat the same mistake. I want to speak to women who are watching this. If you are married to good man, faithful man who works hard, who provides for family, who remains loyal despite temptations, do not take him for granted. I know marriage can become routine. I know passion fades. I know you might feel bored or unfulfilled. But boredom is not reason to destroy family. Lack of excitement is not justification for affair. If you're unhappy in your marriage, communicate with your husband. Tell him what you need. Go for counseling together. Try to fix things. But do not lie. Do not cheat. Do not betray the man who trusts you. And if you truly cannot stay in the marriage, leave honorably. File for divorce. Be honest about your reasons. Do not string him along while sleeping with another man. Do not let him raise children who are not his without telling him the truth. Because betrayal does not just hurt the man, it destroys families, damages children, and ruins your own integrity. Chioma destroyed 15 years of her life along with mine. She lost her husband, her home, her reputation. Her children will eventually learn what she did. She will carry that shame forever. Was the affair worth it? Was Obiora worth destroying everything she had? The answer is obviously no. I have forgiven her. But forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. This is an important distinction that many people do not understand. Forgiveness means I release the anger. I stop wishing bad things for her. I stop replaying the betrayal in my mind every day. I stop letting bitterness poison my life. But reconciliation would mean trusting her again, allowing her back into my life, rebuilding relationship. And that will never happen. She made her choices. She destroyed our marriage. She lied for years. Those actions have permanent consequences. Forgiveness erases the debt emotionally, but does not erase the consequences practically. I forgive her for my own peace, not because she deserves it. She has never truly taken responsibility for what she did. Even in her apologies, there were excuses. So yes, I forgive her. But no, I will never trust her again. And no, I will never take her back. Forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. If you take nothing else from my story, remember these things. Your loyalty should not be given to people who do not value it. Character matters more than chemistry. Chioma and I had chemistry when we were young, but she lacked character. Adana and I have both chemistry and character. That is why our relationship works. Never lose yourself trying to keep someone else. It will not be easy. It will hurt. There will be days when you want to give up, but you are stronger than you think. Do not let betrayal destroy you. Do not let bitterness consume you. Do not let shame silence you. Leave the toxic relationship. Heal properly. Build yourself back stronger. And when you are ready, choose better partner based on character, not convenience. Your life is not over because your marriage or relationship ended. I am living proof that you can lose everything and still rebuild something better. 15 years of marriage is gone, but the rest of my life is ahead of me. And this time, I am building it on foundation of truth, character, and genuine love that I am building for myself. Thank you for listening to my story. If it helped even one person avoid my mistakes or find courage to leave toxic relationship, then sharing my pain was worth it. My name is Emeka Okafor. This is my story, and I'm finally free. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next episode.